remember, he's a super robot, not a super fighting robot. It's an important distinction. This is Mega Man 4 for the NES. It's probably my favorite classic Mega Man. It can be kinda hard to tell at times, but I think it's visually pretty solid. It's got a good soundtrack. I like fighting the bosses, and I think the special weapons are pretty good. And perhaps most importantly of all, this game gives Mega Man his other, frankly kind of integral move, the charge shots. Mega Man 3 introduced the slide, which was good mobility/dodging for Mega Man. And the charge shot, I really think improves the flow of the game. Of course, true to its name, it has to charge up in order to do damage. However, that's the thing about it. It gives Mega Man any damage output without having to have a special weapon first, so good for beginners. Well, no, it's just good for everyone, really. It makes the entire game a lot better because you have an interesting weapon before you actually get the special ones. So anyway, this is Dustman's stage, though you might be tempted to call him Junkman or Garbage Man or something of that ilk given the level theme, but no, Dustman is just a sanitization robot, albeit one who bites off more than he can chew, or sucks up more than he can process if you want to be literal about it. He tries his best, damn it, sometimes he's just in over his head. That being said, his stage isn't one of my favorites. Those spread shot matools really bother me for some reason. I don't know why I'm so bad against them, but they ruin so many takes. Those ladybug orbs, also kind of a pain. They home in on you, and given you're at varying heights in that section, they can be hard to hit. This section isn't too bad, though. That being said, if you get crushed, that is an instant kill. But of course, if you destroy the top blocks, then you can't be crushed. But that doesn't apply to sections like this right here, because there are lower crushers, and there are also junk blocks after those low crushers, so this is the hardest part right here. You want to be very quick, very efficient, and get out before you die. That was a close one. Thankfully, the hardest one is the last one, so if you can clear that, you're good. So, Dustman stage in general, those first two sections are a bit of a pain, but not terrible, just not ideal. Good music, it's pretty catchy, if a little repetitive, and I actually really like the aesthetic. Junkyards tend to be kind of eh. I mean, just from the word go, they're kind of gross. Just conceptually, it's a junkyard, what do you expect? But I do like how, because he's a sanitization robot, you see various methods of garbage disposal throughout the level. You had the crusher earlier, and here you have burning garbage, and of course, Dustman himself, you know, normally disposes of garbage, but now he's puking it up. So, this battle isn't too hard. However, I would definitely suggest sliding under his junk shot instead of jumping over it, because I found jumping over them causes them to explode sooner, and if you're close enough to them, you will get hit by the shrapnel. Even though it always explodes diagonally, it doesn't matter if you're that close. His suction attack is pretty easy to dodge, you just go right, though he is invincible while he's using it for some reason. I should also note that his vacuum is his mouth. It might not be immediately obvious, but that's his mouth. Yeah. I don't know what's so weird about it. It makes sense, but just, man. It's also worth noting that apparently Dustman suffered from bad breath, which, I mean, makes sense. He does eat garbage. It's just the inherent problem with trying to humanize the sanitization robot. Dr. Cossack, he just made a really gross robot. You've isolated him socially. Anyway, we got the Dust Crusher, but we don't get to see it just yet. There's no demonstration. We'll have to see it in the next episode.